We got a good one today, folks, because with every great story there comes a sad end. But sometimes those endings aren't so sad when you look back at the amazing journey. Alright, I'm done talking like a wizard. Today we are discussing the long and fun college career of James Green. My name is Tanner and this is TrueTan Wrestling. I primarily make duel and tournament recaps, breaking news discussions, lineup breakdowns, and of course, college retrospectives from time to time. If any of that sounds interesting to you, be sure to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment on any wrestlers you'd want me to cover on the channel. Promise people have left comments on past retrospectives. I swear I'm getting there. This is just a busy sport to cover as a one-man band. But back on track. There's no better time to do a college retrospective than after someone retires, and a few days ago freestyle lost one of the best. However, how was James Green at folk style during his college days? Well, sit back and relax while this wrestling nerd tells you all about it. This is the James Green College Retrospective. James Green is from the powerhouse state New Jersey, where they are really well known for their wrestling. However, he was the under-the-radar guy for most of his high school career just due to the size of his high school. And fun fact, he was actually the first state champion for his high school back in the day during his senior campaign. However, I'm not really saying that small schools can't get looks. They just never really traveled all that much, and they just sort of went to the local tournaments and did the usual state tournament process. He was a one-time state champ, like I mentioned, and he won NHSCAs as a freshman to land himself at Nebraska. He was also competing at college opens. I believe he went to the East Stroudsburg Open and beat a couple quality opponents. Apparently though, the real story on how he got to Nebraska was I guess he was beating one of the studs in the Easton room, and Easton's a small school in District 11 PA, and that got the coach of Easton to call Mark Manning, and well, the rest is history from there. That really goes to show how much times have changed. He wasn't even getting college looks as a senior with that much talent. He had a little bit of a rocky start to his first year, but like most true freshmen with a rocky start, he quickly made those improvements, especially since he was very coachable and in the right room. Nebraska was just starting to hit their stride, and Green would enter his first NCAA tournament as the 11th seed after taking 5th at Big Tens. As we all know, Big Tens is extremely tough, and 157 in 2012 was no exception. The battles between James Green and Derek St. John were awesome, but that rivalry unfortunately started with Green losing 6-4 in sudden victory, but that really showed how strong Green would be, considering St. John made the NCAA finals this year, losing to Kyle Dake in the finals. There was also Jason Welch of Northwestern in this weight, along with Dylan Allen of PSU, who was an absolute animal this year. Green would then make the quarterfinals of his first NCAA tournament as a true freshman, losing to Welch of Northwestern. He then would win his round of 12 match to become an All-American, like I said, as a true freshman, which is an incredible feat for anyone. James Green would place 7th in a really tough weight, and he was clearly a natural, so Mark Manning really had something special on his hands. Also, placing 7th clearly got him on the map, but it wasn't until next year where his name was cemented into the wrestling books. After seeing what James Green could do as a freshman, I'm sure the Nebraska staff were really excited. Unfortunately, at CKLV, he would get an injury and would have to take 8th, so once again, he was starting off a little shaky, but man, did he really turn it up for the end of the year. He would finally get over the St. John hurdle at Big Tens to make his first Big Ten finals. He would once again lose to Welch of Northwestern, unfortunately, in that final match, but making the Big Ten finals shows that you can compete with anyone in the nation, and his NCAAs was looking really bright. Unfortunately, he would have a really rough start, losing his first match in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, putting him directly on the backside. He would wrestle back to All-American, placing 7th once again, and he would have to watch Derek St. John, a dude he beat 2 weeks prior, win a national title. On the bright side, he proved to everyone that he could All-American again, becoming a 2-time All-American, and he proved that he could wrestle back from serious adversity. His junior year, probably his best year, he would enter the NCAA tournament as the 1 seed, the projected champ. But man, this field was loaded. We had returning champ Derek St. John of Iowa. He was the 2 seed. There was soon to be 3-time national champ Derringer of Oklahoma State. He was only a sophomore at this point, and he was the 3 seed. Then we had Dylan Ness of Minnesota doing his crazy stuff. There was Ian Miller of Kent State fame. And finally, Isaac Jordan of Wisconsin, along with so many other names that I could mention. So if the field was so loaded, how exactly did James Green become the 1 seed besides winning Big Tens? Well, he had a 12-1 dual record, which is pretty impressive, but he also won the Daktronics Open, CKLV, and the Reno Tournament of Champions, so he was so on this year, and he was hunting for a national title, so his 1 seed was extremely deserved. Green would once again make the quarterfinals, but would get pinned by Dylan Ness, unfortunately. Dylan Ness would make the finals though for the Gophers, but would lose to Alex Derringer, who became a first-time champ for Oklahoma State. James Green showed his character and did the next best thing by placing third, winning 13-1 in a dominant fashion over Ian Miller. This is the highest finish in his career, and I know he got pinned in the quarters, but this season he showed a ton of consistency. His only loss besides at Nationals was to Isaac Jordan in sudden victory during the season, so his senior year was for sure looking bright, especially with Derringer moving up a weight class, and the only other threat was Dylan Ness of Minnesota. Unfortunately, Dylan Ness always seemed to have his number this next season, but he was for sure a beatable guy, but this was Isaiah Martinez's freshman year, and we all know how that went. He was the first undefeated freshman since Cale Sanderson, and unfortunately Martinez always had Green's number. I will say this though, it was super impressive the rides Martinez would put on to beat Green by the smallest of margins. Green was inches away from winning, but unfortunately he missed the finals his senior year at NCAAs, but once again he wrestled back to take third, which is something to put your hat on for sure. James Green might have never won a national title, but think of it like this. He was barely recruited, luckily he got to Nebraska by looking good at practice, and then he was a 4-time All-American without a red shirt. I bet some people would dream to be an All-American as a true freshman or a 2-time third-place finisher. No matter what the finishes are, being a 4-time All-American is incredible. Also, fun fact, his senior year he won the scuffle beating the one and only Jason Nolf during his redshirt season. So to put it in short, James Green is probably one of the best wrestlers ever to never even make an NCAA finals, but man, he had some incredible matches, he was always fun to watch, so that's something to put your hat on for sure. However, what he did after school was even more incredible, with him making a world team almost instantly after school, and not only that, he won a world bronze medal at 70 kilograms. Now, I could say a little bit more or a lot more about his freestyle career, but I think that's all I'm really going to say about James Green's freestyle career, because if you are a fan of the show, you know it's all about their college career and giving retrospective to that. However, he was a staple for USA freestyle wrestling for a good long time. To add on to his bronze medal, he was also a world silver medalist in 2017, and to mention a 5-time world team member, so yeah, he had a lock on the world team spot at 70 kilograms. He also only really lost to Ryan Deacon once, but besides that, he controlled America at this weight. It is unfortunate 70 kilograms isn't an Olympic weight, so he always had to cut way too much to make 65 kilograms, which was night and day from his 70 kilogram performances. With the retirement of James Green though, that definitely makes the trials at 70 kilograms way more interesting. We have a ton of studs like Jordan Oliver, Zane Rutherford, Alex Pantelio, and Ryan Deacon, and plenty more freestyle studs, but I'll cover that event when we get to it. For now, thank you James Green for your awesome college career. Like I said, there is so much more to talk about after his amazing years in Nebraska, but I just wanted to stick to college for the most part. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that like button, and if you want to watch more stuff like this, consider subscribing or supporting me on Patreon. With all that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.